Are you looking for the best Bluetooth speakers? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best Bluetooth speakers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Ultimate Ears Wonderboom 3. Among all the speakers I've tested, none have impressed me quite as much as the Wonderboom 3, mainly owing to the quality of sound it's able to produce in such a small package. It's about the size of a small candle and can easily fit into a backpack, carry-on, or even a tote, yet it's loud enough to hear from across my living room all the way into my kitchen. Pairing is simple. All you have to do is hold the pairing button and it shows up in your phone or tablet's Bluetooth menu right away. It will connect immediately when powered back on. You can easily pair 2 Wonderbooms together for a stereo experience with a couple button pushes. At louder levels, usually around 80% or higher, sounds can start to get muddled, especially with genres like hip-hop or metal. I tested with Lil Wayne's The Carter 2 and Lamb of God's Sacrament, and the vocals can drown out instrumentals. It's not enough to detract from how good the Wonderboom sounds, though. When kept below that threshold, songs sound as clear and vibrant as on other UE speakers such as the Boom. As for podcasts and audiobooks, I was able to play those a bit louder without audio quality suffering, and could hear them over the water running as I washed my dishes. The Wonderboom 3 is larger than the JBL Clip 4, so it's slightly less portable, and its elastic loop is less effective than the Clip 4's metal clip for attaching it to things. But the speaker also produces clearer sound, likely owing to its larger size. To test its IP67 rating, I dropped the Wonderboom into a pool of water in my sink 3 times while playing music. The music sounded muffled and quite terrible at first, but once the water dripped out, the speaker was back to sounding good as new. You absolutely should not try this, but know that if you're using this as your pool party speaker, it's safe. It has a plastic door that covers the charging port when not in use to prevent water from sneaking in and mucking things up. It's rugged enough to withstand being carried with you on your next vacation or just getting moved from room to room. While its sound is impressive for its size, you can get much better sound out of a larger speaker. Still, it's the most portable speaker I've tested that gets closest to the sound quality of bigger speakers, like the Flip 5. Also, frustratingly, Ultimate Ears speakers still use micro USB for charging. They come with a cable, which helps, while companies like JBL have moved on to USB-C. It's not a deal breaker, but if you hate having too many cables to worry about, it's something to consider. Number 2. Tribit X Sound Go. If you want to get a speaker that's affordable and doesn't cut corners on audio quality, Tribit Sound Go gets all the basics right but skips a few of the bells and whistles of many speakers I've tried. Former strategist writer Jordan Bowman, who tested this speaker, says that despite its budget price, the Tribit X Sound can almost compete with the JBL Clip 4 and the UE Wonderboom 2, the previous version of our best overall pick. He notes that at higher levels there may be some distortion, but that concession will save you a few bucks. The X Sound Go features a plastic shell that resembles the old Beats Pill rounded speaker with simple controls for powering on and off, playing and pausing, and connecting with Bluetooth. While the X Sound Go doesn't sound as good as the slightly pricier Wonderboom 3, it'll give you a battery life of up to 24 hours, which is higher than that of any other speaker we've tested. It hasn't been certified for dust protection, unlike the Wonderboom 3 and Clip 4, but its water protection is just as good. Number 3. Sonos Move 2. The Sonos Move 2 is the best-sounding Bluetooth speaker I use on a regular basis. It's significantly larger than even the UE Mega Boom, though much smaller than the JBL Boombox, so you won't want to take it with you on your weekend getaway, but it's still small enough to carry from room to room, and the built-in handle lets you do so easily. I'm also impressed that, unlike nearly every other speaker I've tested, the Move 2 has a removable battery, which should make it straightforward to replace. With other speakers, you'll just have to buy a new one once its battery life has depleted too much. While the Move 2 is pricier than similar-size speakers like the JBL Pulse 5, its sound is unmatched, and the Sonos app is one of the rare third-party apps that improves the experience. You can log in to multiple streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc., So if you and others in your household use different services, they can all be controlled from one central location. You won't be able to access all the same features as in the Apple Music or Spotify app, but basic functions like search, playlists, and library access all work great. Like the Sonos Roam, the Move 2 has all of Sonos's smart features, like multi-speaker pairing and adaptive audio, altering the sound to fit your room, and can easily be controlled and adjusted from within the Sonos app. It also has direct Amazon Alexa integration, so you can use it as your main smart speaker, and AirPlay integration that lets you stream directly from your Apple devices without having to pair over Bluetooth. Given its name, it's no surprise that the Move 2 is so easy to lug around, but its charging method isn't quite as mobile. Instead of using a simple charging cable like most companies, Sonos gave the Move 2 a docking station, which is basically a ring that you plop the bottom of the speaker into when it needs to charge. With an IP rating of IP56, it's not as protected from the elements as the Pulse 5, Megaboom, or the Roam, but it's still protected from heavy jets of water, so it should be safe from some raindrops, but not from a drop in the pool. Number 4. Best, less expensive, Bluetooth speaker for sound quality. Bang & Olufsen has always made products with superior sound, and the A1 is no exception. Like its predecessor, the latest version of the A1 produces sound with clarity you wouldn't expect from a speaker this small. On several different albums, vocals came through even on songs with heavy bass. Bowman said, "The dustproof and waterproof BioSound doesn't sacrifice loudness for clarity, it's tuned just right." The BioSound has a battery life of up to 18 hours and supports USB-C charging for an up-to-date cable setup. Many like the Wonderboom still use micro USB. It weighs just over a pound, but that's mostly due to its tough metal shell and rubber base. Additionally, this speaker supports Alexa. Most Bluetooth speakers don't have built-in voice assistant support, if you like to keep your smarts with you wherever you go, but Bowman notes that in his testing, the voice assistant was a bit tedious to set up. Number 5. Sonos Roam. For those who like a high-quality speaker that can pair with other speakers for richer sound, Sonos is tough to beat. The Sonos Roam is about as portable as the JBL Flip 6, while also being able to pair to other Sonos devices like the One, Move 2, or Arc for a more full stereo sound. It supports both Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa, whereas the BioSound A1 can only be used with Alexa, so you can control it and the rest of your Sonos gear all with your voice. As for sound quality, Bowman notes that it was the crispest of any speaker he tested with the best balance of bass and treble. Strategist Senior Editor Winnie Yang says, "We prefer the sound of the Roam with its flatter response to that of the similar-size Bose Mini SoundLink, which we used previously and found was much more bass-heavy." Additionally, Sonos has packed some nifty software into this speaker that will adapt its sound to your environment, so it'll spread sound out more evenly when placed outdoors or tone down the bass in a smaller room, so the rest of the sound doesn't get drowned out. Paired with other Sonos devices, you can also quickly swap sound between two devices, like the Roam and a Sonos soundbar. Bowman says that its battery life is weaker than many of the other speakers we tested, but it's also Qi compatible, so you can charge it wirelessly. Number 6. JBL Pulse 5. No Bluetooth speaker has caught my eye as much as JBL's Pulse 5, which looks like a modern take on a lava lamp and sounds as good as it looks. It's bulkier than most of our other picks, standing at 8.5 inches tall, but that's to its benefit. Its bright, cylindrical array of lights play a variety of animations, including spinning rings of different colors, lights that look like clouds moving through a blue sky, and pulsing dots. You can also change the tempo of the animations to better match the vibe of your room, though every tempo syncs to your current song automatically. It goes beyond just being a nice bit of decoration, it's a solid speaker, too. In my testing, it performed well across a variety of genres, including classical, synth-pop, hip-hop, and rock, with minor discrepancies on higher frequency notes but nothing too noticeable. It's not as portable as the Wonderboom, Clip, or Flip, but it's notably louder and its sound is richer, plus that extra size makes for a better light show, which is the main attraction. Number 7. Edifier R1700 BT Bluetooth Bookshelf Speakers. As great as Bluetooth speakers are, I still turn to my trusty bookshelf speakers whenever I want to spin a record. Jake Sullivan, co-owner of Wooden Tooth Records in Tucson, Arizona, recommends edifiers are 1700 BT. He sells them in his shop and says customers love them. It's the perfect price point for somebody who's getting a new turntable or speaker system but doesn't want to blow their budget, he says, adding that despite their compact size, they're loud enough to fill a room. If you want to connect these speakers to a turntable that's not Bluetooth enabled, most of them, they has inputs for traditional stereo cables. The added Bluetooth functionality is handy for when you're not playing a record, so you can blast a playlist or two straight from your phone without having to switch to a separate speaker. The right speaker has a side panel for controlling the volume as well as bass and treble levels. There's also a wireless remote you can use to adjust those same levels plus toggle the mute function and switch input devices. Unlike other speakers we recommend, these speakers don't have a built-in battery, so you'll need to connect the R1700 BTs to a power source.